Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
And listeners, welcome back to the Farm for Profit Podcast. This is Tanner.
And Corey's here.
I love Farm for Fun shows, but we didn't crack a beer or have wine or a cocktail.
No, we had tea.
We had tea.
Yeah, it was good.
It was.
We needed it. It was a late night last night.
Need a little extra hydration?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a feral dog.
A feral. How do you know it's feral?
Well, I don't know. It's
Could just be
running
having
around
fun
in the snow in the city.
Walking around in the snow. Now, we're having a good time down here in Kansas City. We're having a lot of fun seeing some friends, and almost, I'd say the guests today are like family.
Yeah. Heck yeah. They are. They've been on the show a couple times.
Yeah. Always have a lot of fun with them. Listeners, we always have a lot of fun with you and the feedback that you give. We appreciate that. 515-207-9640. Send us a text message, leave us a voicemail, or email us, farmforprofitllc@gmail.com. We do appreciate those content suggestions. We're looking forward to what the 2025 trade show, what do you call that, tour?
Circuit. It's definitely a circuit.
It is.
Clayton, what is it? We have, in our audience, we have Clayton Lind.
We go to all these trade shows. Is it a tour? Is it a circuit? Is it
I feel like it's more of doing a rounds is a bad way to say
a rounds?
I feel like it's a part of our responsibility.
There you go.
Did you say aroused?
Doing the rounds.
Oh. Okay.
Like
well, I got the headset
a
on.
nurse
I was like, why are you
does
aroused?
her rounds.
You are doing your duty to the people and going to these shows.
Duty to the people. Got it.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, let's get these guys introduced. Is this a new one?
Yep.
Today on the Farm for Fun show, we're back in Kansas City with a couple old friends. It was 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, that we were in a hotel room with these guys, and you're going to hear the story about that. Oh, and then, boom, Ag with Emma pops in.
That's right.
It's just a family reunion here.
It is.
And these two guests are on social medias. They're on Acres TV, YouTube, all over the place. Please welcome from Kentucky and Missouri, not a real farmer because apparently they're just social medias, Gavin and Grayce.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys. Are you guys nervous this time?
Not at all.
You're not?
No.
Like it's finally, or were you ever nervous when you were on?
Excited.
Not
is the
really.
word.
I don't. Yeah.
Honored.
They just didn't care.
The scene
We're
has
thrilled.
changed
They
a
didn't
little
care.
bit. We're not at some hotel room.
We're not
We're
in a
at a
hotel.
hotel, but we actually have a media room.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we've ever told you this, but one of the most downloaded episodes that we have is the interview that we did at Farm Progress Show.
Really?
Yep. With you and Ethan. Wasn't it with Ethan?
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
first
That's great.
generation farmers. I think
Yeah.
I think people really just took that in. So
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, listeners and friends. Thanks for listening to the Farm for Profit podcast and enjoying our content. But it's time for us to find out more about our audience. If you wouldn't mind heading over to farmforprofit.com at the top of the page and take our survey to give us a little background on who you are and what we can be doing better as far as content goes. Everybody that takes the survey will be entered into the opportunity to win $100. So we look forward to getting your feedback. Again, head over to farmforprofit.com, click that survey link at the top of the website, and we thank you in advance for your feedback. And when we did the interviews in the hotel room, where we were just joking about how awkward that was when we set you guys up and you were both on the show with each other, but we aired them like 60 days apart. Because we did one where we were focused on Gavin, one where we focused on
But then we were
Grayce.
both in the other's
You
episode.
were both, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of neat. But your episode did better than his in the winter.
Oh.
I'm not surprised.
I don't think we are.
that was
either.
also the night that Tanner decided I can't touch the equipment anymore.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes.
After you guys left, I was putting it away. Well, what'd you do? You left.
I didn't leave. I left the room because you shit your pants.
I didn't shit my pants. I farted.
Okay, it was. There had to be at least a little bit of residual. Like that was bad.
And he left, and I was like, well, I don't know where he went, but I guess I'll just put all this stuff away. And I did not put it away correctly. So
It took twice as long to set up
he
the next
cussed me
time.
up and down.
I'm like, all right, the headset's going in this drawer.
Where are they at?
We don't have any headsets.
Oh, they're just
Oh,
in that drawer.
they're in that drawer.
wadded
Well,
up.
where's the headphone cords? Oh, they're not in the headphone cord drawer. Yeah.
Did you have them labeled?
No.
No, but he's a very particular guy, so that was funny.
Well, we set up today in less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I still don't touch stuff. I'll touch the cameras. That's all I do. Yep.
You guys have anything like that in your relationship to where
Do you guys fart in front of each other now?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
We're getting the tough questions answered.
Sure do.
Oh, my God. Bet you didn't think you're going to be talking about that today, did you?
No, wasn't on my radar.
No. That's true Corey for you right there. So as you reflect on that question that I asked you, are there things that you do and he doesn't do? Like, for example, in my household, I rarely do dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But in exchange, my wife rarely does laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying we don't do it. It's just I don't load the dishwasher the right way, so it saves us an argument. And she doesn't wash my clothes the right way, so it saves us an argument.
That's fair.
I would say we both have our own chores that we handle at our own houses. But, like, if Grayce has been spending more time in Missouri than I have in Kentucky, if I'm trucking all day, she ends up surprising me by having all the laundry done and the kitchen's clean. I'm like, I walk in, I'm like, this is so nice.
Yeah, I'm
you know.
pretty much the best.
Or, like, she's got, like, mac and cheese cooked. I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. Like, this is perfect, you know. It's great. But
no, it's more of like what needs done and who's available to do it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So are you guys living together now?
Not really.
Part-time, I guess.
Yeah. When I'm in Kentucky, I stay at her house because where else
yeah.
am I going to stay? When
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
in Missouri, she stays at mine.
Because
So.
it's, what, 5 hours?
But Google Maps says 5. It's
Yeah.
4.5.
It's 4.5.
Yeah.
Nice. So someone can still beat the GPS, I guess.
Right.
You just when you're going on 64 across Illinois, you just find whoever's driving the fastest, and you get right behind them, and you just follow them the whole way.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So that always makes me nervous because I feel like the cop's not going to pull over the first car. They're going to pull over the second, the one that's easiest to get to.
Yeah. That's
Suited
why
me
I'm
well
the
so
first.
far.
I'm always the first.
You're the leader.
Yeah.
So was that 2023, early 23 that we had
We were
them
talking
on?
22. Well, the
End of
shows
22.
aired. We recorded them out at FBN, which would have been December.
Okay.
But, yes, they would have aired the first part of 23.
So what have you guys been doing for the last 2 years? If people are living under a rock, I guess.
Well,
Man,
we're still dating. We ended up getting a show on Acres TV.
Yep. Since then, we've launched our show on Acres called Dirt Poor.
Yep. Been to a ton of farm shows together.
Still not tired of each other, huh?
Still not tired of each other.
Not yet.
No. Not yet.
Working on a Mack truck restoration that's going in the Mack Museum.
Yep.
Oh, you don't even get to keep it?
Nope, getting.
We're donating it.
That's so cool.
So Grayce has got it in my shop, and she's going to finish repainting it. We'll put everything back together and take it out to Pennsylvania.
So do you guys have restoration experience at all before this project or anything like that?
Not really. We repainted a semi at the farm a few years ago, and our main tractor, we repainted that too, but that's really all I got.
I'm not hardcore restoration. When I started farming, I mean, if I was buying used junk, I'm fine running old stuff, but it can't be ugly. So I'd rattle can it or fix it up, put new wear parts on, just basic stuff.
What was the grain cart?
Oh, yeah, the grain cart.
I forgot
we
about
did that. We do a lot. Yeah, I have I love Parker grain carts, but it was old and rusty. It never spent a day inside in its life. So, like, 2 weeks before harvest starts, I'm like, we're going to paint that black.
No, it was 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, it was close.
Hey, that might have kept you from going to the field too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Some guys
That's
like,
true.
I'll just try it today.
Yeah.
I'll just wait. It'll go. It'll go.
Yeah, that cart's nice. I mean, everything about it was immaculate. It had new flighting, good tires. We put a new tarp on it. Just the paint was so ugly. It was so embarrassing to drag that behind a nice tractor next to a nice combine. So we spent a couple days, and I was able to make a YouTube video out of it for Grayce's channel because she was needing some content.
Sure.
Harvest hadn't started yet. So we totally restored a grain cart.
Completely forgot about
And
that.
it was black, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
black.
was green and rusty orange, whatever. But, yeah, now it's pitch black.
Yep.
Got
Yeah.
new decals for it from the John Deere dealership and slapped those on and put a rear view camera. The only thing it doesn't have is a scale, but it's got the rear view camera. We ran a monitor into the cab for all the road travel.
Yep.
So,
Is that your only grain cart?
yep.
Has your farming operation expanded in the last 2 years?
I think it's about the same size. I've dropped some acres to the south and picked up some acres to the north. But as far as like total acre size, it's pretty well right where it was.
Gotcha. So just trying to consolidate a little bit.
Yeah, the being spread out thing, I mean, you pick up what you can where you can find it, but I'm going too many different directions. And with going down to Kentucky, you can only do so much.
Right. Right.
So.
And being 4.5 hours apart, you don't get to bring your stuff up and help her out.
No, I need to get a low boy.
Yeah. We need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the same vice versa. Because I've always wondered, I'm 2.5 hours from the farm that I grew up on, and I spent a lot of time helping my in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be some times to where it'd be handy to, hey, why don't we just swing up there and knock this out quick? Or, hey, we're down a tractor. Can we go get it? It's still a day to go up and back, as far as getting something put together. But I've always wondered that.
Yeah, how do you decide, like, if you guys both have harvest to do, how do you decide who goes where?
There's so many factors. Like, he's got his hired guy, and then sometimes his brother helps out. His hired guy's brother helps out. So there are some days that he'll just let them.
Yeah, there's some
Take
days
it
where
and-
Jaron and Shannon will be harvesting, and I'm down in Kentucky. So there's stuff happening at my farm, and I'm not even
Well, that's
Yeah.
I'm
gotta
not
be
around
good.
town.
So
you
it just
know.
depends on, like, everybody else that we work with, and like I said earlier, what's needed done where,
It's all hands
and
on
who
deck.
can do it. Yeah.
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 As long as the job gets done.
Doesn't matter who does it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you guys had amazing yields, at least in Missouri. How was Kentucky's yields last year?
Not our best.
Not the best.
Yeah. Not for me, but I know that we had some insurance claims.
Okay.
Yeah, overall, just not great year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had to be a record year for you. Missouri.
Corn was, yes. Beans were like right on average. The earlier the beans were planted, the better they did. But every planting date that got later, you just watch the yield monitor drop. So our beans were super average. But corn, like we were cranking out 250 bushel corn. We've got 130 bushel county averages. It's like we're not going to see that for another decade.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was the secret, just the weather?
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
Yep.
Huh.
That's interesting. We saw the same thing on our soybeans. The earlier planted beans, of course, we had 4 different planting dates because of the rain this spring.
Yeah.
But our early beans knocked the socks off of anything. It didn't even hold a candle. We're 20 bushel better.
Dang.
Yep.
That every one of those bushels counts in a year like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We call it busheling our way out. That's kind of, that's kind of the last. I thought that was a drone flying out the windows of the plane. Whew. I was like, oh boy, here we go. No,
That would be kind of cool.
yeah, yeah. That's what we do in Iowa, right? Like, it's below break even, and then 250 bushel. Like, well, at least we made some money. I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like those years that you don't, and it goes down. Like we were just average, right, where we were. So it's kind of hurting a little bit. Don't have that extra 20, 30 bushels to sell.
yeah.
It would help out a lot right now.
Yeah.
I had a couple fields beat my APH or T yield or whatever, and I still had a claim on them because
Yep.
of the revenue difference from spring to fall.
Yeah.
So that was weird. That's never happened before
Yeah.
for me.
So what'd you do with all the crop? Did you just go right to town?
A lot of the corn went to town. I was forward selling some of it because I still don't have a bunch of grain storage. But then I rented a few bins off of neighbors for seed beans.
Okay.
Growing seed beans for 2 different companies now. So half of them have gone to town. The other half are still in the bin.
Yep. Are you still growing popcorn?
This past year I didn't because we got so much in the warehouse. I was able to just keep selling what I had. But then this spring we'll plant some again.
Okay.
Is that sales still going well?
Yeah, and honestly, I've focused much less on it because the row crop operation's grown 100x of what the popcorn has. But now with the climate that we're in, with crop prices, I might go back to focusing on it some more because I really enjoy it. But it's such a small portion of my income now that
Right.
it's like it doesn't even exist. I just do it because it's what I've always done.
Right. When you're selling it by the ear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, which is way different than selling it by the bushel or the bin.
Yeah. Well, and that's for us it's fun. We've talked about this before. Dad still grows a couple rows of popcorn. We still hand shell it with is it hand shelling if you crank the sheller?
You're cranking
'Cause
it
I think
by
the
hand.
I always think of that as just the blisters on your hand from hand
Right.
shelling it. But Corey brought a popcorn popper into the studio, and so now we get to pop Winterhoff popcorn
Yeah.
for our guests that hang out.
I'd
in
like
the
to try
studio.
some spore popcorn side by
I
side.
think it'd be a great test.
Yeah.
That'd be some good content there. We wouldn't rig that at all.
I don't think it would take. I don't think it would take much to beat Tanner's.
Do you grow yellow or white popcorn?
It's yellow.
Yellow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I've got. So it would be a fair comparison.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the machine or your popcorn, but I feel like we don't get a good pop. Or if we do get a good pop, it has to stay in there too long and it's a little burnt.
Gets a little bit past it.
Yeah.
I think it's the oil.
That could be.
Yeah.
It's finicky. I've got guys I sell kettle corn kernels to, and if they're just heating up for the day, that first batch is almost junk. They throw it out.
Really?
You need it heated evenly all the way across, and then that second batch, world of difference.
There's some art to it.
So Corey starts up the popper, and he's reading the instructions. The only time he ever reads something is when he turns popper on. I look over there, and the freaking thing's on fire.
It's not on fire. It was smoking.
It was smoking pretty good. And I'm what are you doing? He goes, it says it needs to preheat for 5 minutes. I've never done that in my life.
I do think we need better oil, though. What's
do.
the best popcorn oil? Do you know what that is?
The lady that I buy crop insurance from, her husband swears by coconut oil.
Really?
Yep.
So we're doing canola oil right now.
Does it taste like coconut?
No, it's pretty good.
I'm not a big fan of coconut.
Nah?
It's not coconutty. When you're eating it.
Like when they sprinkle the coconut sprinkles on like chocolate or something, I'm like,
Right.
why?
You're not an Almond Joy fan?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah.
But coconut oil, no. I don't really feel like it tastes like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I drink like Body Armor has coconut water, I think, in it. So
I've
Look
got
at you, hypocrite.
another
I
kettle
don't
corn
taste like
customer.
coconuts.
They swear by corn oil. I think it's Mazzola, or I don't know what the brand name is. It's a yellow bottle. You get it at Sam's. They buy it in bulk.
Really?
And that's all they use is corn oil.
We just got to find whatever Tyson's uses. You guys don't have Tyson's down in your area, farm and home store that pops popcorn when you go in there, but we just got to do whatever Tyson's does because that's the best popcorn that you can have.
It is good, but it's weird when you see people like just barehanding it.
I don't
in
do
there.
that. Nope.
Like, it's just a community popcorn kettle.
No.
It's like, I don't know where you've been or
No.
if you washed your hands.
When Corey originally asked you guys what you've been up to the last 2 years, I don't know if you saw, I commented on one of his tweets the other day, and I said, so how come you haven't proposed yet? Or where's the ring or
I
something
asked him
like
that this
that?
morning, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Corn needs to go back to 7. No, she's looking at me. I get the evil eye a lot.
Hey, last night at supper, there's a guy walks in. A couple have been sitting in the booth for a little while. The guy walks in with flowers. Like he went to the bathroom and came back with flowers. And I'm like, what? I don't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden he gets down on one knee and he proposes. I couldn't get my phone out of my pocket fast enough to actually do that for him.
Yeah.
But I gave him my card and I said, text me. I'll send you the pictures I got. And then I was like, oh, that's fucking creepy. I just took pictures of somebody that I have no idea who they are.
And they're enjoying their special moment, and you're like, hey.
And I handed
I've
them
got
my
pictures
business
of this. Here
card.
you go.
To
I mean,
be fair, if that was me, I would have totally appreciated that.
Well, I hope they did.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did he text you?
yeah, in the moment, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was their moment, and I handed him my card. Like, it wasn't like in the moment, but it was pretty quick after it happened.
Yeah.
Because I didn't sit down between. Yeah.
So we need to find out where they're going to supper tonight, and so you can sit near them somewhere. we can double it up in Kansas City.
That's right.
Tanner's now new gig is engagement photos.
Engagement photos. Farm for Profit
Creepy
Media.
engagement photos. Like he just tries to find out where you're getting engaged and doesn't actually talk to you beforehand.
And I take the pictures right after you do it, so like you only get the reaction.
Yeah.
You don't get
There's no
the
setup.
important part.
There's no setup. Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be doing something. Like this is the moment. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. So
Good.
yeah. So where are you
So-
going to propose tonight?
How are you going to do it?
I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I want it to be memorable. It's got to be memorable.
Oh, and she's right. I can see it in her eyes.
Okay.
Every day with you is memorable.
So Rachel, our chief marketing officer that we got brought on the team, she was like creeping in her fiance's boyfriend's like email trying to figure out like when she was going to get
Oh,
proposed to.
really?
Like, do you want to know like how or when, like, or do you want to be completely surprised?
I think I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm not good with surprises. I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
But I think I want to be surprised.
She was
now does it matter?
overanalyzing.
Does he have to worry about if you're in your farm jeans or if you're in your event jeans? Like, does that matter at all to you?
No, I mean, as long as I don't look like I just rolled out of bed, I'm pretty good.
Do you want your nails done? Because
Yeah.
we only know this because of what Rachel
Rachel
wanted.
yeah.
She's like, I want to make sure my nails are done. I want to
Yeah.
make sure, because for pictures I want it to be. And
I want to make sure I have makeup on, make sure I'm not in my sweatpants, like. And so she was analyzing. I think it's going to happen at Thanksgiving because the family said, "Don't wear sweatpants,
no sweats.
because we're going to take pictures." And she's like, "I think it's going to happen."
Is that where it happened?
No,
No.
it didn't. But it was.
It's funny, those little clues, though.
Yeah.
She was just. I think she ruined it. I mean, that's she got what she wanted, but like,
Oh, you can't ruin it. They're happy.
yeah, they are happy.
Yeah.
They ruined it for us. It wasn't a surprise.
For us.
No.
Oh, it was even funnier because we're getting this side of it and we're playing along with it. So she tells Matt when she thinks it's going to happen that she's busy with work stuff and can't get away. So he texts me and says, "Hey, I plan on proposing at, as the sun sets this day. Does she really have to be at this meeting?" And I went back. I said, period. There is no meeting.
Oh, no.
And he goes, "What?" I said, "I think you're getting played. I suggest you play her back." So he did. Apparently he sent her a message and said, "Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll just go by myself." And so she sends me. I'm in between this. I don't even need to be in between this. Sends me a message that says, "Oh, he's actually not going to do it because I said I had this meeting. So now I got to tell him that there is no meeting. Just go do it, guys."
Oh, God.
You've been
Just
extra
go be in
ornery
love.
lately, telling people lies.
Not lies. I
Yes.
don't tell lies.
You've told people lies. You said that my wife is pregnant.
She is. Congrats.
She's not pregnant.
Oh, she's not.
If she is, we got a problem. If she is, we got a problem.
You said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I just said
Literally,
congrats.
someone the other day asked me, he's like, or they were like, "Hey, congratulations." I'm like, "For what? Aren't you guys expecting?" I'm like, "No." What? And it's him. Like, straight faced. Man, I got enough crap in my life. I don't need to deal with that kind
That's
of stuff.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking. Corey thought he saw a drone, and we were talking ahead of this. We've become good friends with the folks over at TerraClear, and they. It helps that we're local to them,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to experience a different side of TerraClear.
Yeah, they came out and picked rocks, and it was like I loved it. TerraClear is awesome. What they're doing is great. It was cool. I've got a farm with a ton of rocks. What they did was great, but they were sweating bullets the whole time because it was like one mishap after another the entire time.
Want to come give you a good first impression, and it didn't go well.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. Like, okay, you want me to just start from the very beginning? Okay, so they send out a company that flies a drone and maps it and finds all of these rocks, right? Well, they came out, they were running it fine. Well, then they had some trouble with the drone. And then right at dark, one of the guys lost a drone. Okay, and he's from the city. So I'm like, well, I'll help you find it. So, like, we meander down. It's in the woods, like way in the middle of the woods. He's scared to death because he's from the city. I'm like, come on. We are apex predator. Nothing, like everything's scared of us, not the other way around. But he's like shivering as we're walking through the woods with our phone flashlights. Finally find the drone. It's in a million pieces, so they can't finish flying the drone. So there's a couple fields that didn't get mapped. Well, then they come back out, and they're finally there to pick the rocks in between harvest and trying to get winter wheat on the ground. They sneak in the perfect time, but then the skid loader starts having issues. So they only get like 3/4 of what's supposed to be picked. That's just, that's life. That's how it goes. That's farming. But what they did get picked was great. And, they were picking up rocks the size of me with these skid loader buckets and just zooming around. I'm saved, I don't know, like 5 days worth of walking around.
Yep.
And they did it in a couple hours with a skid loader. So, this is a cool company.
It's exciting technology.
Yep.
It's just fun that they're real people. We get to hang out with Brent and Travis, and it's kind of neat to see that behind the ag tech, because when I first got introduced to them, I'm like, really, rock picking? That's what we're putting technology into is picking up rocks, and it makes freaking sense.
Oh, yeah.
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 It makes your life easier, but if you run a rock to the combine, like, how expensive is that?
I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he did that this year.
Though
Wait, was it on a field that they picked?
It was it was in a field before they picked it because I was combining the beans so that they could come. Yeah. So, hey, if they would have been there last year to get it picked, I wouldn't have had that problem. I wouldn't have had the breakdown. I wouldn't have had the expense.
Do you guys roll? Do you ever roll your beans or your fields for rocks or anything like that?
No, and in northeast Missouri, we really don't have many rocks at all. This was an old
The glacier didn't make it down there.
it's a reclaimed coal mine ground, so there's 500 acres, and it's just peppered with rocks. And if you get the rains, you can have a good crop, but it's just thin topsoil, just rougher on the rougher end of things. So, man, it is the perfect place for Terra Clear to come do some work.
They got a cool, or have they told you about their cool ground rig to take pictures? Like they don't need drones anymore.
Really?
Right? They still can use drones, but the problem with it is from the time they fly it, and what did they say? 5 millimeters
5 millimeters
per pixel from the drone height. So it's such a huge file. It takes 3 days to get a map back of your rocks. Now they can literally, they can go on anything, go on your tractor, but they have it on like a gator. And it's just big like antenna looking thing with cameras on it. They can literally drive it and be picking in within an hour.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
because
So-
it's 1 millimeter per pixel.
1 millimeter per pixel,
Yeah.
and
So the
and
file
but,
size isn't
but the
nearly
fact
as
that you don't
big.
have to upload to a cloud and
Yep.
do all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, like with huge files, they can actually just do it right there.
Which I know when we first started having the conversations, we're like, could you put it on the bottom of the corn head or the bean head? You know, is it something that you could do while we're already making a pass?
Yep.
But then again, every farm has to have that technology if
Yep.
you want them to come pick your.
Yeah.
pick
So they
your
could put it on
rocks.
like your planter,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's kind of neat to see where it's evolving and how it's going to get more accurate and just become a normal part of your operation. But even just having the maps and driving to where the rocks are, you know, that saved us time.
Right. If just having the map, because that's what my plan is on the rest of it. They weren't able to pick with the skid loader. I still have the map. I go right out to those rocks. It's marked, and that rock's not moving.
That's true.
So I can go there whenever I want and get them.
That's true. Did you guys get any of this snow?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
God,
Yep.
it's the first.
You're not used to seeing snow.
We get it every now and then, but nothing like they do up north.
Yeah.
This was my first experience pushing snow. So I got a buddy with a landscaping company, and he needed help pushing snow because his business has blossomed, and down in St. Louis, he's running like 17 skid loaders in a snowstorm. Well, it was me and 3 other ones, and we got sent to a hospital complex. We showed up Friday night at 11 p.m., and we left Monday at 6 p.m. And we slept in our
Whoa.
pickup for about 4 hours during that.
Wow.
It was miserable by the end of it.
Yeah, that's my memories of snow. Like I had a lawn care landscaping snow removal business on the side for a while, and I loved it. Like I just would, you know, storms coming, couldn't sleep, excited to go out and do it, and about 4 hours in, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah, the new wore off so fast.
Yeah.
You were in a tracked skid loader?
Yes, which made it even worse because you're just sliding everywhere.
Yeah, I just bought a track skid loader, and I was kind of thinking I want one of those box blades or whatever. They look kind of nice. But
Yeah.
I've also heard you don't want to go cheap on those because if you don't have like the
The
spring
flip
trip edge.
spring trip edge or whatever, like it'll put you through the windshield.
Yeah, the ones we were using were
Nice.
Spring Trip. I was looking at them just because I was curious what they cost. And he's running, I mean, a dozen of these things. They're like 10, 15 grand for
Yeah.
a used one, 20 grand for a new.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find them for $2,000. Those are not the spring trip ones.
What we need to do is just wait till someplace that always gets snow doesn't get snow for about 4 years, and all those guys liquidate because
Yeah.
they don't have any snow to push.
Oh.
Then we can get them for a dime,
There you go.
See, I wish
pennies on the dollar.
I wish those would have, and maybe they did exist when I was pushing, and I was too cheap, which is probably the case
Yep.
to buy one. So I just use a large material bucket. So that's what I had. And yeah, if you hit a curb, those arm bars went right into your gut. You just, I don't think I ever actually hit. I might have hit my head on the windshield, but you just you can't see it. You can't anything about it. But it was always a challenge to me, something that I enjoyed. Like I'm gonna put snow in the best spot. Like I'm gonna pick where the pile goes, as long as it's not the third time it snowed. Now your pile's kind of out where it is.
Yeah.
But like I want to put this in the most convenient spot, so whoever has to do the lawn care in the spring doesn't have rocks in the whatever it ended up being.
Yep.
It was a big challenge, and then I hated it when someone was parked there. It would have been the perfect place.
That
and
has
you
to be
just
the worst.
freaking.
I don't like pushing snow at our studio because there's no great spots to put it.
There's not.
No.
There's not. One of the places that I had as a contract was a strip center that had Gold's Gym and a Hooters restaurant, and it'd start snowing. And either way, most times you're pushing snow in the dark. So either it was me helping the drunkards leave Hooters late at night. I just fill the bucket with snow and then push on the bumper of their car without scratching it.
Yep.
Or it was me pushing out the cars that came in early to work out at the gym. I'm like, really? You couldn't skip a day?
Yeah. No.
You chose a
No
snow
days
day.
off.
You couldn't skip a
Committed.
day. And I'm like, frick. So you always went and you know what parking lot to start, where to start based upon what time of day it was.
Have you ever had a snowstorm start in the day? Because I got to talk to him. He's like, every time we push snow, it starts in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Our last one did.
Our last one did, yeah.
it did?
Yeah, I guess it
Cool.
started at like 8 a.m.
8 a.m. That's
Yeah.
so much nicer than showing up at 11 p.m.
I was trucking corn all day. We did. I mean,
It was nice because people really made it to work. Like there wasn't like you had to get up at 4 a.m. and make sure people can get to work, you know,
Yeah.
type of a deal. But,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was no question though that they do not know how to handle snow down here as much because we stopped at the Walmart in Cameron and there's just piles of snow everywhere. But then you looked over and I don't think they got that much snow in Cameron. Like you could see the
Decent
grass
grass.
still,
Yeah.
Oh.
but they were struggling.
We get a lot of those 2 and 3 inch snows. It's only every couple years we get 8 or 10
Yeah.
like we got.
Did you get any ice?
Yes, and that
That's the
made
worst.
it more difficult than anything because we're trying to push snow, and then you got a layer of ice, and then it snows again, and then it sleets again,
Yeah.
and it just was not working.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get a very big bucket full.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, like you said, because your tracks.
yeah, well, the tracks, and it's just that ice is so much heavier than fluffy snow, so you can't push it very far.
Yeah.
So you got all these little piles everywhere.
So did you make it a content opportunity?
I made a couple TikToks out of it, but it's
Yeah.
really hard to make content when you're driving with
Right.
both hands on a joystick.
Because do you have a YouTube channel? So you just
Yeah.
give your stuff to Grayce for that?
Yep. Grayce is the YouTube queen.
Yeah.
She's good at it. I've never got into editing.
How's it been going?
It's fine. I've taken a lot of time off the last few months,
Yeah.
but
And
I like doing it.
I don't blame you. All this is hard.
Right.
And especially when we're all doing other things. Like we all put that together. Takes time. That's why we've built out a team around us because
Yeah.
it'd never get done.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Which Grayce has
I'm just
girl from home, Allie, that helps out, and then Brianna, she edits.
and I've started training Brianna in YouTube videos and slowly handing that off
That's nice.
because
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really particular about my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Which is also why I've kind of stopped because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to those. So if everything's not perfect, I'm like, well, I'm not doing it.
Oh, really?
Not doing it. Yeah, so that
So you
holds
don't
me
just
back.
whip out the camera and just record.
No, and I used to be that way, but
Yeah.
as I get more into it and I find like different things that I like to do, I get really fixated on the
So you're planning your content a lot more now.
yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. So the Mac thing, did they ask for it to go to the what did you say? Is it going to go
Museum.
Museum. That's right. Did they ask for that?
They gave me an option. They were like, if you want to donate it, you can. If not, you don't have to. And I was like, well, I'll just donate it. Why not? It'd be
Yeah.
cool to have something in a museum.
Right. Well, and I'm sure the content's been doing well
Yeah.
for it, right?
Other than the primer didn't go on very well the first time.
Oh, yeah, that was a disaster.
Yeah.
No, we didn't put primer on it, remember?
Or not
Oh.
primer, paint. You can tell the story.
What time was it? It was like midnight.
Yeah, it was late by the time we got it prepped.
And we were trying to get this truck painted. And the first layer of paint we put on, when I sanded it down, there was a few spots that broke through the old primer.
Oh.
And all of those spots, it started to like shrivel up and get
Oh.
all bubbled up and blistered all around the truck. So I had to completely resand it all.
So it's like, let's hurry up and paint this, and then it didn't hurry
Did
up
not
anything.
go well.
Nope.
It's all part of the
So-
journey, like they said this morning, right? Just going to make it that much more special.
Yep.
If you just had the truck at the end, it wouldn't be that special, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if painting it twice is really gonna change my
Yeah.
outlook on it.
I absolutely do hate redoing things.
Now, as a restoration, it runs, right? It's not just
Yeah.
going to be a museum piece that sits there. It can and will run.
Yep, it does. I actually drove it from my house to Gavin's house.
5 hours, bobtailing,
Wow.
single axle.
Ooh.
She was broken.
It was rough. I'm
She
still
broke like 9
recovering.
bones.
Yep.
Like 9 bones.
My back is still recovering.
Yeah.
What year is it?
84.
84.
Are you still double clutching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
By choice or for content?
By choice. I mean, I think at this point, if I started floating them, it'd go more viral.
Yeah?
I should try that.
Can you?
Yes.
Can you name it?
I'll just give you a
Yes,
shot.
I can.
Are you ready to power through your harvest? Meet the Maya corn heads. They're designed for maximum efficiency and unmatched durability in the toughest of conditions.
With precision engineering and advanced features, Maya Cornheads ensures every kernel counts, giving you the performance and reliability that you need. Get more from your harvest with equipment built to last.
Reach out to your local Maya Cornheads dealer or visit mayacornheads.com to find your perfect match today. Maya Cornheads, harvest with confidence.
Oh, shoot.
I still remember the comment section, just every time. That was on.
never
I should
fails.
say thank you, because that was like Friday night entertainment for me. For
Yeah,
like
going through those
4
comments.
weeks was just because we knew you, and you feel bad, and you understand that it's also just part of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
and you
whatever.
kind of go through that as well. Like I know that there's people out there. We were talking about on the way down here. We feel bad for some of the folks that have been guests on this show that have trolls that you put something out and it's just immediate. Nope, this doesn't exist, or you're wrong. You have no experience. You don't. Whatever it is, whatever lie,
Yeah.
or half truth, or whatever it is that they put out. And then I still remember our interview with the New York farm girls.
Oh.
And I understand they've all gotten older and gone their own separate lives and married, and it's not as feasible to do it like they used to, but I also know why they're not as forward-facing anymore.
Yeah.
That's just too bad. There's some
Yeah, it just sucks.
really cool stories that could be told that aren't getting told anymore.
I think if you don't have trolls, though, you're probably not doing it right.
Negative comments always are louder than the positive ones also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's there's a lot of truth to that. Twitter's been the worst lately.
Yeah.
Everything else is so positive. Twitter's like, man, there's just a group of people that want to be angry at the world for no reason.
There's a few people on Twitter that really just kind of do all the poking of the bear,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And just get everything riled up. And then there's a couple others that kind of jump on. And
And we just learned last week that Corey's one of those.
Oh.
Always getting blocked.
yeah, Damien had me blocked. Yeah, we had to call him out because I literally don't know why. I cannot.
Do you think it happened on accident?
No.
He Damien was saying that it was because he was literally he's
have
like
you seen his hands? His hands are huge. I'm kidding.
he's like he was
Bad
what did he say? He was like I know 2 people that I've actually
Yeah.
physically blocked, and I don't think I would have thought I would have remembered you, but maybe I was on some rant back in the day or something. He's like, I don't need to see that, so gone.
I don't think I've ever blocked anybody.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Do you
If
try
it-
to respond to any of the trolls on Twitter?
Not really, because it'd be
Yeah.
a waste of time.
Yeah.
People's biggest gripe on there is that they think I'm doing it strictly for engagement because I'm getting paid. It's like, I've never made $1 off of Twitter. Now, I've made money on other platforms.
Right.
I've never
Sure.
made a penny. Twitter's like my dad and grandpa. So if I want to know something about
Yeah.
farming, a repair or agronomic question, that's where I go with that.
Right.
And they think I'm just like baiting for engagement. It's like, I just like either Twitter or New Ag Talk. That's like my go-tos
New
if I
Ag
want
Talk.
advice.
Yeah.
So, have you had anybody on any of your platforms push back on the fact that you're a beginning farmer, and because of your influence, for lack of a better term, are not having the same experience as other beginning farmers are having?
Yeah, a little bit. Probably more so than someone that's not making the content, I would say for sure, but that just comes with it at the same time.
It's probably a different argument that they're coming at you with versus the one that some guys get with daddy's money.
Yeah.
I get those.
Yeah. So
I mean,
so
in
does
a way,
Corey.
like they're just jealous, right? They're just mad. Like you got a fancy new, Fendt tractor or planter or whatever, like that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
it's these people that go and comment on your stuff or, make posts about you, and they'll say, you wouldn't have any of this if it weren't for social media. And then you go to their page and they're trying to do the same thing you are.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like you're just mad because it's working
Yep.
for me.
Yeah.
Yep. It hasn't. I found something that people can relate to.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what it is. That's why people watch.
Right. But it's no different than going to town and getting a job. I mean, it's a supplemental income.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
I can farm full time now and
Yeah.
get the opportunity to work with these great companies
Yeah.
that have products that they want to show off.
I don't know why we all just want to throw good money at bad and just go lose money farming. It's a freaking disease.
Have you noticed that everyone is like, how can I make more money to supplement the farm?
Yeah.
It's like, why we shouldn't have to be doing that. What is going on?
I'm excited here in about a month to do a show on that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I hope we get done, what we plan to get done, and it is. It's fascinating. Having been in finance, I got it a lot to where it was, I got to work this job so I can have insurance for the family is one thing. But to say I got to go do this job to cover what my operating loss is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
So I can go bust my ass, lose sleep,
Yeah.
get where
I have to
stress
go
out.
push snow for 20 hours and then drive a truck for 20 hours, so I get to go drive a tractor for 20 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
something's broken here.
It's a disease, man. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be able to get that out of our blood, right?
No,
But-
and it's never going to change because we've talked about this before too, that you've got doctors and lawyers and celebrities, athletes that now want to farm.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing, they're taking money earned from a non-agricultural job to step into the field to do what they think they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, every generation goes through it. So I'm not even 30 yet. I'm only 27. So these guys that are 50 and 60 and 70, they all went through the same stuff. I mean, they were working hard and doing other things to make ends meet while they built the farm.
Right.
And now they're finally to the age where they've got that asset that they can rent out for retirement. And they deserve every penny they can get
Sure.
because they worked their whole life for it. I just got to figure out how, our generation's version of that. Is
Yep.
it going to look the same
That's-
as theirs or different?
No, absolutely not. It won't.
Yeah. So Tanner wants to do a show on it. I want to ask you right now: have you changed anything, knowing that we're going into a downtime for this year?
Yeah, I've been force feeding myself Dave Ramsey content, which I don't know if it's good or bad. But
You don't need a $60,000 tractor for farm 40 acres.
You could go on the comedy circuit. You just dress up like Dave Ramsey. You'd be the
I
Dave
love
Ramsey
that.
for
I love that
farmers.
TikTok sound. People just went
Yes.
off on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
my mentality's definitely changed on it. Because see, when I started farming in 2017, we didn't have great years, but we didn't really have a bad year. And prices were always going up, and everything was inflating. So like you couldn't make a wrong move. And I'm the first to admit I've made some mistakes in that time period too. So I'm trying to figure that out and navigate the world where stuff is now dropping like a rock in value and situating myself where I can at least survive that. Because I own the 2 acres I live on, and that's it. So navigating this environment we're in on a crop share and only cash rent basis, how do you do that? So looking at specialty crops, figuring out how to run lean without cutting too many corners.
Right.
It's next couple of years are going to be tough.
Yep.
What about you, Grayce?
I'm just really pushing social media hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really focus on that.
Yeah.
Obviously farming, but mostly what I'm focusing on changing is being more consistent on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will YouTube penalize you like TikTok will? Like if you don't feed TikTok, it takes a while to get back up. Does YouTube do that too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From my experience, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we try to put something out daily, right?
Yeah.
And it's expensive for us because we gotta pay
Because
have
we
good
choose to not
content.
edit
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for us, we didn't get a position where if we had somebody make it for us, we might as well use it. There's no sense in not airing it,
Right.
Yeah.
putting it out, as far as that goes. And your dad's still working in town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So he works at a local factory,
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
Yep. And is your sister helping you farm?
No.
No, she's not.
She told me if I got cattle, she might be interested.
Oh.
So she's interested in that for like the beef tallow skincare side.
Ah.
That's been a
so-
fad I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that, and hopefully if I get into cattle, she'll want to work with me a little more. But
It's gotta be a tough time getting cattle because they're still pretty high, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's
Cattle prices?
the market is still
mm-hmm.
Well, we heard here that they don't expect it to be a bad year for cattle.
Yeah.
They expect it to be a volatile year, but still in the upper range. So not fall out of bed.
So is that a goal for? Are you gonna have cattle by the end of 25?
I really hope so.
Yeah. Cow, calf, feedlot. What are you looking at?
Feedlot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
mini fuzzy ones.
No, that's not. Those are show cattle. Those
Yeah.
aren't feedlot cattle.
Maybe one as if a little pet.
There you go. Yeah, you need like a
And then you'll have
mascot.
Mm-hmm.
you'll have your Grayce's skincare line.
Yeah.
Homemade.
Yeah, and I'll let her manage that.
Homemade beef tallow.
Yeah.
Be kicking out ribeyes and hamburger.
Maybe we
and-
could fry the popcorn in beef tallow.
Ah.
Yeah, tie it all together. I can't even eat popcorn right now.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I'm doing that carnivore diet thing.
Oh.
So, yeah, popcorn turns out is not meat.
Well,
It's
what's the other one that's kind of like carnivore? Like if it like a scavenge, like you can scavenge it. If you could find it out in the wild or whatever, you could eat it. Like
yeah, who was telling us about that?
so, like
Interesting.
just figure that you walked through this wild popcorn field and you found these seeds. Like,
And you went to the fire that you were cooking your.
Oh my
your-
God, they pop. Yeah.
wow, oh,
This is neat. I'll try
it's
and catch
seeds.
it.
It's natural,
Yeah.
right? Birds
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah. Popcorn's non-GMO. I mean, you can't get any more closer to nature than that.
It is kind of crazy to think like you put a cup of popcorn and it's just kernels, and then it turns into this big bowl. And then to think that if you ate that whole bowl, you just ate that whole
Right.
cup of kernels.
38 to 44x.
So
is what
why-
that expands?
So why is it though when you poop you don't poop out popcorn like you do corn when you eat sweet corn?
Well, popcorn's well, if you eat the whole kernel without it popping, you might.
I bet.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
never examined. Don't know.
I like the
I've
old.
consumed a lot of
What do you
popcorn.
call old maids?
Yeah, the
Old
Old
Maids.
Maids.
I love the old maids.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Old Maids, and then the ones that just kind of splinter open but don't fully
Yeah.
explode. Those
If
are
you
good
could
too.
breed a variety that just popped like that,
You can. It's
Really?
just moisture. The ones that splinter open but don't fully explode, it's just because
Alright.
they're a little too wet.
ah,
So if you can bump your trouble is you can't store it as long as real dry popcorn.
Right,
so
right.
you're gonna have to sell it quicker. But yeah, it's only moisture. That's like the popcorn that splinters but doesn't fully explode is probably 16 or 17% instead of 13.5.
Okay.
That's the only thing that makes it do it.
the
Yep.
more you know.
Literally, the more you know.
How dry do you get your popcorn, Tanner? Maybe that's our problem.
So we probably get it too dry because there's no real moisture test. Our test is a pop test. So we'll let it dry on the cob, and you'll hand shell, put it in the popper, and if you end up with, only 4 or 5 old maids left over, it's time to shell it. Otherwise, you leave it sitting on the rack.
What about the ones that never pop?
Old Maids could be a couple things. It could be way too dry, could be way too wet, or could have a scratching of that skin. Because if there's just a little bit of a nick in that kernel's skin,
doesn't pop.
all of that pressure can escape. It'll never explode. That's what makes popcorn explode is that what is that, pear cap?
Yeah.
I should know that as a
Yeah,
popcorn
yeah.
farmer. The moisture can't escape. It holds it in. It's so thick and so hard. That's what makes popcorn
Pericarp, I think.
makes it explode. Is it keeps it until the last second.
Are you Googling it? Do you have internet here?
Yeah. Oh, Google just
on the
says
Oh.
Google just says it's the whole. Encapsulates the minuscule water droplet within each kernel. This protective layer has a vital role in containing the moisture, preventing it from evaporating during the cooking process.
So you gotta be real careful, real gentle when you're combining it, because if you scratch those kernels or nick them at all, it's not gonna pop.
Yep. Better get a my corn head. Be general.
There you
Right,
go.
There you go. Boom.
Look at this.
Three ads.
Boy, you're just laying it on. today.
Yeah. Huh. Are you getting any cool new equipment this year? Any big partnerships?
We got a planter to restore. Mm-hmm. I gotta pick that up. We're gonna go pick that up after the weather quits, but it's an old one. We're gonna restore an old John Deere 7000 8-row.
Oh yeah.
So, yep, that'll be cool.
I
With the
just
Dickie
sold a
John?
John Deere 7008 row.
Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
Aw, man.
Sold it last spring because it was my replant planter, and it just pissed me off. It was so dang wide.
Mine's got
wide.
that Kelderman fold,
Oh,
so it's like
nice.
super narrow. I can put that behind my 1066,
Yeah.
pull it up on a gooseneck, and go
Yeah.
anywhere with it.
And so we're pretty close to town, and it's just traffic's so bad, and I got to have 2 tires of that thing in the dang ditch, and some of the ditches are you can't.
Yeah.
So I got so pissed, I just literally listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy, and there was a lot of replant this year. A guy just came, bought it the next day, and hauled it away.
Marketplaces.
Yeah.
I
So now I
spent
gotta
much time
find
on there.
I gotta find another replant planter.
We've
but
got a manual fold 12-row 7000. And after all the wet spots that I got to replant this spring, I got sick of getting out of that tractor and trying to swing those wings back.
I was really thinking like a Kinsey twist fold would be nice, but my God,
They're
those
pricey.
things are gold.
Yeah. And the 12 rows bring more than the 16 rows do.
You got one for sale, don't you, or did
Mm-hmm.
you sell it?
Yeah, I got a 16 row box fill.
What? Why are they so expensive? Just
Don't know.
convenience?
They're good planners. They're
Yeah.
amazing planners.
Yeah.
But planners have all been on the market so long. Everyone's got their design perfected pretty well.
Did you know you could get a John Deere twist fold like Kinsey? Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. I saw that.
It's got
I've
a
never
different
seen one.
style of lift and twist, but yeah.
I've never seen one in the field, but I've seen them in
Yep.
in their brochures or whatever.
Aren't those like their DB8s or whatever, the 8-row or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, but I need a replant planter. But then my mind goes to, well, if I'm going to buy one, it'd be nice just to have a second planter. So maybe I should just get it a little bit bigger so then it can be my bean planter.
Yeah.
Right, or whatever. And then you start looking at the 16 rows or, and it's like, oh, yeah, I don't want to spend that much.
You go the total opposite end of the spectrum. I've got a friend from home that just bought a used DB60. That's the 47-row 15-inch.
Oh,
So that you don't need to replant anything. You just go plant it once, and if you have to redo it, do the whole field
there you go.
instead of doing the little nooks and crannies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of row units back there. I bet that thing's heavy.
But those aren't bringing nothing.
No.
I mean, the big anything resale's junk right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We actually picked up a second DB80 last year because of that.
Mhm.
Nobody else bid on it.
Finger slipped.
Okay.
That's what happened on that skid loader. Finger slipped. I literally was wanting to. I was like, oh, I'll throw a bid at that, and someone else had a higher bid, and so then that's why auctions work, right? Like I was like, oh, I wonder how high they're, and so I went up like $2,000 more just trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh, that's where he's at, and then like 3 minutes left, no one else ever bid. I'm like, oh shoot.
I had one of those. I had a bid on a Peterbilt truck. I was just sitting there going, okay.
Oh, you were pissed.
Yep. I put it in there at $30,900 or something. I'm like, nobody's going to, people are going to bid 30 and they're going to stop. So I'm going to definitely have this. And I got on the phone, was talking to one of our partners on the phone, and I got off and went, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And it sold for $31,000.
Dang.
And you would have went like to 40.
I'd have went close to 40,
Yeah.
Day cab, wet kit, perfect for us to haul manure in a side dump or a belt trailer.
Yeah.
No emissions type farm truck.
Dang.
So I called the guy. I was like, maybe they bid it and bought it back. And he goes, no, it sold. The guy just got off the phone with us. Couldn't believe the other guy stopped bidding. I said, yeah, the other guy was on the phone.
Yeah.
Freaking dumb.
That's why I like to bid at the last minute because someone might be on the phone.
Yep. Words.
It was actually Corey
Yeah.
that was
by.
bidding
Yeah.
against you.
If that truck shows up in his driveway, I'm taking it.
No.
He's going to surprise you with it like an engagement ring.
Yes.
I'm over my Peterbilt disease. I had one. I had to have one, a 379, 2006, and no emissions, all that. And I loved it, but it had so many issues. And I'm like, why is that truck so expensive? And it breaks down just as much as the crappy Freightliner or whatever. So I sold it.
You know what doesn't break down?
Mac.
Mac
No.
R models.
Yeah.
They just go. I was told, I wish I could give the credit to who told me this because I really like the quote, but they said the cheapest thing about a semi-truck is the purchase price. It's after that they get expensive. Cheapest day, anything to do with that semi-truck's the day you bring it home.
Wow.
Then they start nickel and diming you.
Which
do.
that's, yep. I feel like that's all. There's always something wrong.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
I've got one right now that I can't haul grain unless Grayce cranks it over for me because I got to hold pressure in the fuel tank to get it to prime because I changed the fuel filter and it lost prime. I must have cracked a hose somewhere.
Yeah,
And I
sucking air.
leave it for 15 minutes. It will
Oh,
not prime.
man.
So, yeah, that's a two-person job.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we've got trucks that have their quirks too. Someone has to hold the wire on the starter, or someone has to pinch this cable.
There's two things I don't enjoy about mechanics of any diesel motor. It's sucking air and electrical. I hate both.
Which
those
is weird
things.
because I love electrical when it comes to house.
Oh, yeah.
To wiring as far as anything with
Because
inside of a
that,
building.
I think, because like, especially if you're wiring new construction, but
Sure.
you know where stuff's going and all that. Like, when something happens on the truck and they just got these wires going over, I don't know where to start.
Yep.
I don't know where to
Yeah,
start.
it's miserable.
So do you guys know where you're going for trade shows? This is going to air in January. Do you know if people want to come see you in person, where they can find you?
National Farm Machinery Show in
That
Louisville.
100%.
For sure.
Are you doing
for
a party again? Maybe I shouldn't say anything.
Maybe, but it's for girls only. Sorry.
Oh, so Corey can go and I can't?
Sexist. That's sexist.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do
Fine.
something.
Gavin and us will have a boys' party.
Yeah. Damn
Oh,
right.
okay, fine.
What, was he going to go to yours?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Farm show for sure. We were talking to Dawn this morning, maybe Commodity Classic, which I really like that
Commodity's
show.
awesome.
Commodity's cool.
It's weird this year. Starts on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
We've only been once, so I don't have anything else to compare it to.
Yeah.
I've just never been to a show that starts on a Sunday.
I'm not excited
Yeah.
that it's in Denver because normally it's fun to look forward to a little bit warmer
Yeah.
temperatures,
Yeah.
you know, at that time. But I guess we'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So is it not on like the same days every year? Like how Farm Show is always a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
I
Saturday.
mean,
It used to be.
It
Like,
had
this is the
been.
first time it's been like this. You
Huh.
know, when I went in New Orleans and went in Orlando, and then when we went in Houston, it's always been the same days of the week. This is the first time it's started on.
they
a
probably
Sunday.
put too much promotion into it, and then they realized they double booked or something.
That's true.
Which that happened to me at my wedding. My wife and I booked our venue, and the next week they go, "Oh crap, someone else has a wedding that night," and so they gave it to us for half price to do it on a different date.
Oh, nice.
I was like,
Hell yeah.
and we were cheapskates, you know, like I didn't have money at the time, so I think we got the Victoria Lodge in Ankeny for like $400.
Whoa.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what lodge it is and where it is. $400 is still pretty good.
Right.
Rent. You can't rent the studio for that.
Yep. And I think you could bring your own food and beer there, right? So that was
Oh, yeah,
cheap
that's
too. If you don't
nice.
have to pay
That was
$300 a keg.
That was cool. I feel like someone wants us out of here, but not to cut that short. I
What?
feel like they just peep in and peep out. Waiting
I
for
think
us to leave.
everyone takes a phone call out in the hallway and they're like, "Oh, there's an empty room." Oh crap!
Yeah,
Gavin
it's
and
not-
Grayce are in there.
Nothing here we got going on. Yeah, my rehearsal dinner. So that was the Friday night football game when Iowa State beat Oklahoma State when they were ranked number 1. So we loaded up the pickup for the reception the next day with all the beer from Hy-Vee, which is Campus Town Hy-Vee.
Yep.
And everybody wanted to know what tailgate we were going to. I was like, didn't think about this.
I think I was at a wedding that same day,
Yeah.
and I remember like I was almost late because of
Because
that
of the game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it went into overtime, didn't it?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
2 overtimes.
Yep, and then one on a field goal kick.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dang.
it was pretty cool. So, but we'll be at those shows as well. We'll be National Farm Machinery Show. We missed it last year. Came back. Can see everybody again.
You gonna be at the grain bin again?
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think. Or was Sukup?
we'll have something to do at the grain bin.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be camped out there.
Right.
We might just pop in.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I think that's probably going to be our trade shows more this year than anything else. Is less of a standard permanent setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stinks when you're like you have to stay here or you
Yeah.
have to be there. It's so much better to go float around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when is the show coming out?
This should be a couple of weeks.
Before Naked?
This will be just ahead of Naked. Let me find that schedule.
Yeah, so if anyone in the Indianapolis area or interested in drainage tile and conservation will be
This will be
in
the week
Indianapolis.
of Naked.
Oh, so
Yeah.
come see us this week.
Yep. Right now we are set up hanging out at Naked. So North American Conservation and Drainage Expo. I haven't had anything to drink yet, and I'm slurring my words.
It's residual. Residual.
Yeah, that's the way these.
Do you
go.
guys have tile in Missouri?
Couple guys are starting to do it up on the flats, but we've got a real tight clay hard pan, so they're doing real small tile, super close together.
Shallow.
Like, it's shallow, like 15 feet apart or
Yeah.
20 feet apart, and little bitty tile. But it's not very common at all.
You wouldn't need much of a machine for that.
No, they bring in. I mean, they bring in full size ones, but I
Yeah.
don't think you do.
Yeah.
But we've got a weird soil type,
Yeah.
and the guys that are doing it, I don't know. They've got big square fields, and it's like right where the glacier stops. So it's pancake flat. If you work the dirt wrong, you're backing water up on a quarter section.
Really?
It's just pancake flat, and then you get into the hills and hollers that my stomping ground,
Yep.
just south of there. So, but a few of them are doing it, not a lot.
Yep. Gotcha. Do you don't farm anywhere where all this McBee ground is coming up?
No,
They-
they're in the northwest.
I mean-
what a wild thing that is.
Holy cow. It's like every day I get a thing from, what is that, Common Ground or
Yeah.
whatever, like, 11,000 acres. Here's 6,000. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Yeah, we know what's going on there. So does everybody else.
Yeah. Yikes.
Well, that's cool. Thank you for missing a keynote speaker. Hopefully, we were just as entertaining as they could have
This
been.
is the keynote.
This
Yeah.
is the keynote. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have to do this. Yeah, thank you. You didn't have to do this, but man, when we're together, what better time to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
We
fun
could-
getting together.
We could ask these questions over a drink, or we could record when we ask you these questions. It's just kind of fun to catch up.
Yeah.
We got to do it every couple years and see how we all keep progressing.
Yeah.
That's right.
So at the end of 25, we want to see Grayce with cattle
And a ring.
And a ring.
and a ring. What kind of cattle?
Just Angus.
Just Angus.
You know what's really good about this is if she has a ring, that means corn went back up to $7.
I think it's going to be a long time before corn gets to 7. I bet someone gets a ring before then.
Oh, look at you.
Wow.
Yay.
Yay.
But corn,
And-
that would be great if corn went to 7.
We
I'm
got
not
this on
stopping it.
video, so
It
it
is on
doesn't
video.
have to go up to 7 for me to get a ring.
Right. For the first time, he's backed out
We
of
have
So
it.
that
do you
on
know?
record.
So have you guys looked at ring styles? Do you know what she likes?
I get hints all the time.
Okay.
I flat out tell him what I want. There's no
all
hints.
the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So
Awesome.
what's going to be at the end for Gavin? What are you going to have at the end besides a ring on her finger?
The end of this year,
Yeah.
I would love to get some grain storage of my own. I've either been hauling it into town at harvest or I've been renting neighbors' bins, and I want to buy a couple acres and put up some dedicated storage for efficiency's sake. And just a couple weeks ago on Twitter, maybe just a week ago, like, I love grain systems.
Yep.
She can vouch for me. Like, we go on a road trip, I'm taking back roads to see grain systems because I call them castles. They're like the farmers, that's their thing. Like all these
It's that farmer's legacy,
yeah,
right?
that's that farmer's legacy. It's that giant castle. It's got all
Yeah.
these different sized towers on it. I mean, they just look like castles on the
Yeah.
hillsides. And I'm like redesigning how I want mine to look. That's
Yeah.
that's what I want. Well, obviously, I'm not going to start with that.
Sure.
But I want to lay the foundation for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start the right way.
It would be very exciting to start a new grain site. I'm just
Just-
going to say
just
that
a
right now
blank?
because I'm very thankful that my grandpa had the forethought to put grain storage up. But things are so different now than they were then. But now, if you could start over, it's endless.
I
what
think
you
about
could
it
do.
every day.
It's
You're
endless what you could
preaching
do,
to the choir.
right? So, well,
have
when you're
things-
ready, talk to us, and we'll
Yeah.
get you hooked up with our friends at Sukup, and at least get you a quote. Right?
Hell yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good companies out there, but they've been tremendous, and they've helped a lot of our friends out. So, yeah, they got dealers everywhere. So,
I love it.
Yep.
Well, this has been fun. Corey, what do you tell the listeners?
crack a cold one. You deserve it. I about need one.